Deep in the Appalachian Mountains, something stalks the dark hollows that makes even the most seasoned hunter come inside before night falls. A creature born from Cherokee tradition that carries an ancient curse, the legendary Wampus Cat. In the fall of 1964, a hunter was tracking with his dogs when suddenly they started whining and ran off into the darkness. And an overwhelming stench filled the air, something like a wet animal mixed with decay. And then through the trees, he saw something that was impossible. It was a large feline figure, larger than any mountain lion he'd ever seen, standing upright on two legs. The creature's yellow eyes locked onto him before it vanished into the night with supernatural speed, leaving only behind deep claw marks on the surrounding trees as evidence of its presence. And that's just one of the countless encounters with the fearsome Wampus Cat, a creature that has terrorized the Appalachian region for generations. Today, we're exploring the enduring mystery behind this beast. Welcome to Cryptid Crossings. If you're a fan of the strange, mysterious creatures that roam the world, make sure to give us a like and hit that subscribe button for more cryptid content. Now, on with the show. The legend of the Wampus Cat begins with a Cherokee. According to legend, a woman's curiosity about forbidden tribal rituals led to a transformation that would haunt the Appalachian Mountains for generations to come. As the hunters of this tribe gathered in the forest prior to their expedition, they would perform a sacred ritual to ask forgiveness from the animals that they were going to use to feed the village. Now, this was a sacred ceremony, and only the men of the village were permitted to see this or be a part of it. But one of the tribe's women had become curious to the men's activities and what actually was going on in the woods when they went off on these expeditions. So while wearing a mountain lion skin, she snuck into the forest and followed them to the spot they would perform the ritual. And so she hid behind a rock where she could see what was going on, but she couldn't really hear what was happening, so she tried to move a little bit closer. But as she did, like in any great horror movie, she knocked up against a couple of sticks, made a noise. And when she did, the men of the tribe heard this and turned around and started to look around in the forest, where they stumbled upon her. And when she was discovered, her punishment was severe. The medicine man of the tribe bound her to the skin of the mountain lion, transforming her into something not fully human nor animal. And thus the legend of the Wampus Cat was born, and this creature still roams the forest to this day looking for revenge for this horrible transformation. Now, the Wampus Cat's appearance strikes fear into the most seasoned hunter. Modern witnesses describe this creature as combining feline power with supernatural presence. Standing about 7 feet tall, it's larger than your typical mountain lion, and this beast moves with this unnatural grace through the Appalachian forests. And its most distinctive feature is that set of yellow glowing eyes that seem to glow with this inner light, and it's particularly visible in the darkness of those mountain hollows. And the creature's body is covered in this fur that's typically described as black or dark brown, allowing it to blend seamlessly into the shadows and the darkness of the mountain hollows. But what truly sets the Wampus Cat apart from natural predators in that area is this ability to seamlessly transition between a bipedal and a quadrupedal stance. Some witnesses have even claimed that the Wampus Cat has 6 legs, 4 in the back for walking, 2 in the front for attacking. And when it rises up on those hind legs, it towers over most any human that's out there. Its muscular frame carries this aura of supernatural strength, and its movements combine the fluid grace of a mountain lion with almost human-like intelligence. And perhaps its most unsettling feature is its voice. The sounds it makes when it calls out seem to blur the line between human and animal. Sometimes described as a bone-chilling scream, while other times it's described more as a woman's mournful cry echoing through the mountains. It was 1918 when one of the most well-documented Wampus Cat hunts occurred in Knoxville, Tennessee. The events leading up to that Thanksgiving Day had the entire region on edge. Beginning in Fountain City, when the residents discovered their dogs had been killed, their hearts and livers torn out with surgical precision by something with razor-sharp claws. Then a mule was found dead in Whittle Springs, and in Inkip, farmers reported finding their chickens crushed, completely drained of blood. And when a University of Tennessee zoologist examined the tracks, he couldn't match them to any known predator in the region. Some whispered about this escaped circus animal, and others, they kind of suggested it was the devil in the shape of a tiger, come to scare the wicked folks into doing right. But as dawn broke on that Thanksgiving morning, 75 men gathered, armed with rifles, shotguns, and bows and arrows, ready to take this beast down. The Knoxville Sentinel had offered a $100 reward for the creature's carcass. And then other businesses started joining in. A drugstore promised a Kodak camera. An insurance company offered $5 in gold. A clothing company offering either a women's tailored coat or a men's hat. And those that got a glimpse of the creature that day described something that defied explanation. A beast with gray fur, marked with white spots, capable of leaping 12 feet in the air. But despite this small army of hunters and these lucrative rewards, the Wampus Cat still eluded capture, with the hysteria even lasting throughout Christmas. One child asking Santa for a gun so that they could shoot the Wampus. By the new year, the sightings around Knoxville had ceased, but the legend of the Thanksgiving Wampus hunt would live forever in local folklore. The summer of 1932 was a really tense one in the town of Marion, North Carolina. It started with a farmer finding his prized hound brutally slain. Its body mangled in a way that defied explanation. And soon, other farmers reported similar losses. There were dogs and sheep and even chickens that fell victim to what seemed to be a nocturnal predator with an appetite for carnage. Rumors spread like wildfire. Was it a rabid animal, a wildcat, or maybe it was something even worse? Well, one night, James Elworth, a local resident, claimed to have seen the beast. While walking home late one night from the general store, he spotted a shadow slipping through the trees under the light of the full moon. He knew it wasn't a dog and it wasn't a cat, but it had long legs, ears of the devil, and eyes that lit like coal fire. And despite an armed search by the townsfolk, the creature was never spotted or captured. But some whispered it was the Wampus Cat, come for revenge. Others just dismissed it as hysteria. But to this day, older residents of Marion still speak of the dog slasher that stalked their grandparents' lands. And then there's the story of the forest guardian of the Cherokee trails that happened in the 1970s, when Sarah Williams, a nature enthusiast and amateur photographer, set out on a solo hike in the Great Smoky Mountains. She had heard stories of eerie happenings in the area, but dismissed them as superstitions. But as she neared Klingman's Dome, a chill that had nothing to do with the weather settled over her. Suddenly, the woods became silent. Then through the fog she spotted it, a large cat-like creature with a sleek, shadowy body. But there was something wrong. Its eyes glowed unnaturally, a piercing yellow that seemed to look straight through her. And frozen in place, Sarah watched as it moved, silent as a ghost, across the trail. She hurried back to the trailhead, abandoning any kind of thought of photographing anything today. And then locals later told her that she had encountered the Wampus Cat, a spirit guarding the Appalachian wilderness. And then even as recently as the early 2000s, we still have reports of the Wampus Cat coming in. A University of Tennessee student reportedly spotted the creature crossing 16th and Cumberland in Knoxville, Tennessee. As she was looking out the window of her new apartment, she saw what she first thought was a human, but upon closer inspection noticed that she was actually seeing a human-sized feline that was walking upright. She distinctly noticed its cat-like silhouette and its glowing eyes as it walked through the darkness. And then it crossed the intersection and just continued on out of sight to never be seen again. Now, while the Wampus Cat's supernatural abilities can't be scientifically verified, some aspects of the encounter could be explained by natural phenomena. The most straightforward explanation is just a misidentification of an actual known animal. The eastern mountain regions of the United States actually once held a very healthy population of mountain lions, known as painters or panthers in the local dialect. And these big cats were prevalent until about 1900 when they were hunted to a near extinction east of the Mississippi River. And the fear and folklore surrounding these big predators that might have actually lent to the Wampus Cat legend. Some researchers suggest that the Wampus Cat could just be a genetically deformed mountain lion. Reports from the 1900s described a lot of strange and unusual features like cloven hooves or bear paws, although no actual physical evidence supports any of these theories. And then there's the psychological factor. The transformation of real predator fears into this supernatural belief is a well-documented phenomena in a lot of folklore studies. And with the Wampus Cat legend coming around just as the mountain lions were disappearing from the region, that suggests the creature might actually represent a cultural memory of a very real threat. But what about its voice? Well, the Appalachian Mountains has a very unique geography and atmospheric conditions, and that can create unusual acoustic effects while you're in the mountains. Besides, mountain lions themselves are actually known to produce some pretty creepy sounds on their own, which could account for some of the more unsettling audio encounters. Now, these explanations do fail to account for consistent reports of bipedal movement, supernatural abilities, and those glowing eyes. But whether natural or supernatural, the Wampus Cat continues to defy just a simple classification. So whether the Wampus Cat is a supernatural entity born from a Cherokee curse, a misidentified natural predator, or something else entirely, the legend continues to prowl the shadows of the Appalachian Mountains. This creature represents much more than just a frightening tale. It embodies the mysterious nature of those ancient mountains, and the enduring power of folklore to shape our understanding of the unknown. Have you ever had an encounter with the Wampus Cat, or any other cryptid? If so, make sure to reach out to us at cryptidcrossings@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your story. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay curious. You never know what lurks in the shadows.